I am live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Radical Independent. My name is Dave. Um, we will wait until maybe some folks get to watch here. Mm. Uh, it's my Aloha drink right there. Um, I am live right now because my channel is like at DEF CON 5. Uh, I mean, look at me. I mean, I'm getting demonetized. I'm getting deranked. I'm getting deplatformed. Why? Why am I living in a world where truth is like a joke to people? Like you cannot talk about endless war. You can't talk about the fact that there are some really bad things that are happening in our world, in our country. And we've got one candidate who's doing a really good job at addressing it. The performance yesterday, this was kind of similar to what happened to Kamala Harris. Okay. Joy Behar, Kamala Harris, kind of the same thing to me. I mean, um, the only difference is that Tulsi is sitting right next to Joy Behar. I mean, she's gone to Iraq. She's looking at Joy Behar like I can handle this. I got this. I got this. We're living in some really strange times. I'm here for a couple of reasons. Number one is I'm letting people know that if you can help me financially, because if I'm going to do videos for free, because basically that's what's happening. If I get demonetized 4 out of the 5 last videos that I'm doing, yeah, I got my music channel. Okay, I do content over there, and that basically finances the rest of the operation. But I noticed over there that my views are down, and I never get videos demonetized on my music channel. And it happened yesterday for a brief period of time. I have like 25,000, almost 24,000 subscribers over there. So over here, if I get to that level, if it happens, and it might, because hey, I'm going all the way to the convention, baby. I'm going right there with Tulsi Gabbard. I am there. What happened yesterday was like a double, like a left and then a right. I mean, nobody could have seen that coming. With number one, Tulsi makes the next debate. I've even been a little skeptical that they weren't going to find a way to keep her from that debate. She's in, all right, and she's working now on the December debate. So if you're thinking of donating to Tulsi and you haven't done so yet, now would be a really good time, because she's got to hit the donations threshold, in addition to obviously her popularity, which continues to go up. And I'm thinking these polls are undersampling folks. So if you haven't donated, please do. I mean, look, the best thing I can do is direct people to the best candidate in my lifetime. I am just a messenger. I am a director of traffic. Okay, you're at my intersection. You've shown up. Hey, it's the Radical Independent. Wow, there's a stop sign here. I'm going to tell you, proceed to the next intersection. Okay, proceed to the place where you can sign up for Tulsi Gabbard. All right, meaning donate. If you're in New Hampshire, if you're in Iowa, folks, Tulsi needs you on the ground. All right, this has got to be an effort that's not only grassroots, but it has to be something different. And I've been talking about this in videos a little bit, that the typical leftists who support, say, Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard has maxed out those folks, because for whatever reason, because once she started to appeal to people who are libertarian, who are maybe just independent, radically independent, like myself and others, That seems to have rubbed a few of those folks the wrong way, to the point where you've got like the TYT channel is trolling her. And, I can go on and on about all these examples of people who are laying into Tulsi Gabbard because she's Tulsi Gabbard. They have no substance. She is serving her country in a couple of different ways. She's running for president. So essentially right now she's a triple threat. She serves in the military, she serves in Congress, and she's trying to serve as president of the United States. And her workout routine would pretty much kill most of us. So it's crazy. I mean, she posts these videos, and this girl Sophia, who is all over Twitter, she's like, thanks for making me feel like a real lazy ass, basically. I mean, again, it's a theme of the videos that I do when I talk about how I really think she's better than most people, and that's a threat too, because it's about your ego. It's like, oh no, I want a president. That's why people were like, okay, we'll vote for Trump because he's worse. I am a crappy person, but look at him. I mean, he's married to a porn star, basically, or former. I'm not going to bash on Melania here, but it's just, it's the standards drop a little bit where you're thinking to yourself, well, I guess it doesn't matter how bad my life is. So in any event, I'm here to talk to you about this channel and how 4 out of 5 videos that are recommended by dentists who chew gum. Now, 4 out of 5 videos yesterday got demonetized. That's never happened to this channel before. Yeah, giving myself a little pat on the back. That shows that the folks over at Google, and by the way, it's peculiar. I know there's an algorithm, people. I understand the algorithm. But one of those videos I did yesterday had hours where it wasn't actually affected. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, somebody walked over and said, no, this one, you can't have this one out there. He can't be earning revenue off of this. He's got to understand, Dave's got to understand that we're fine. If he wants to talk about aging rock bands, we're great with that. But he's got to stop talking about the candidate who destroyed Hillary Clinton, Joy Behar, and Kamala Harris. Those are 3 of our favorite things. It's like a holiday song. Those are 3 of our favorite things. How can you destroy Joy Behar? She's such a joy. Lack of Joy Behar. I don't just, what was that about yesterday? Oh, well, the Russians call you an asset. That's their word. No, it's not. It's your word. Stop it. Stop it. Don't lie to us. You're lying. We know you're lying. Why are you lying? And your viewers, look, again, I'm not going to stereotype the people that watch The View, but why are they home during the daytime? What are they doing? I know I have an excuse, all right? I make videos. I clean and fold laundry. I take care of my kids when they're home and so forth. So I have legitimate stuff to do, all right? If you're sitting there watching the ABC network during the day, what kind of person are you? All right, so I'm done venting there. If you can help the channel out, I should do the fundraising drive. I should have something to give away here. Free Thomas Frank book. I don't know if you donate. No, I don't have enough of those. Look, people, I started this channel knowing that it was going to be an uphill battle because, number one, I come at this from a weird place. I'm not your typical progressive because I'm not really progressive. I'm kind of like a radical independent, but I have some progressive tendencies on many issues. But there are a few issues. Again, we could go there. I'm not going to go there. I just want to say that Tulsi Gabbard, though, I think could bring people together. In other words, people from the left could say, you know what? She seems a little pro-military for me in certain ways, even though she's against regime change war, which is actually more important than being, sort of needlessly pro-military. In other words, just enthusiastic. No matter what the military does, I'm going to support it. I don't think Tulsi is doing that or saying that, but there are many commentators on the left that I think have these weird suspicions, like she's waiting to be George W. Bush. Okay, we're going to put her in office, and then all of a sudden she's going to become a Bush. And I don't know what could be further from the truth, but I understand. What else? What else is? I mean, there are just a bunch of things that people, I think, are suspicious of, that probably they should just talk to Tulsi, ask questions, show up at these events and say, hey, Tulsi, what's your view on this? And I think she's going to be honest and tell you what she believes. And you can disagree with that. You can say to yourself, well, that's not how I see it. A lot of times on Twitter, I get this all the time, and I'm thinking, what candidate do you agree with 100% all the time? I mean, you may not agree with her stance on, say, $15 minimum wage. You may disagree with that. That's fine. I don't think that's the end of the world, though. And I think people can probably understand where I'm coming from, that I see a candidate who can unify the country. I see that candidate. She's right there. She's gaining momentum. The last video, imagine I put out a video, Tulsi Gabbard is gaining momentum. Censored, monetarily anyway. Why? What's controversial about saying that she's gaining momentum? She's in the debate, and she destroyed Joy Behar yesterday. Absolutely annihilated her. Joy Behar was a mark on the wall of the set of The View. Okay? She was muttering to herself, like she didn't know what to do or say, because the major had slapped her down. And when I started this channel, I didn't think to myself, Dave, you really need to be controversial, because this isn't controversial. This is not controversy. This is truth, okay? So if truth is now controversy, then this is exactly what George Orwell said. This is Orwell. Remember truth? What did he say? Truth is the most radical thing you can do is tell the truth. That's George Orwell. And if we're truly, and people overuse it's like, it's an Orwellian thought. It's Orwell. Everything is Orwell. Folks, we are here. We are here. The surveillance state is here. This camera can be used against me right now. It's on. You don't think this camera can be hacked? Do you think I'm crazy to say that? Is that like, oh no, he's a conspiracy theorist? Like it hasn't happened. Like Alexa doesn't just automatically go on in someone's house for no reason. I've seen it on my local news. People are freaking out. This is the new world. This is the brave new world. By the way, thanks for, I see the live chat here. It's there's people actually on my channel chatting. I ain't Jimmy Dore, people. Not Jimmy Dore. I'm just a guy pretending to be Jimmy Dore without the 4-letter words. I try not to swear. It's just because I have kids and I get into the habit. I'm like, whoop, shouldn't say that. And I get on progressive commentators because they like to just drop F-bombs. And then they tell me, well, it's because I'm enthusiastic. And I'm like, no, it's because you don't own a thesaurus. I can't even say the word thesaurus, but you don't own one of those. Try a different way. I mean, look, I like it. When I've told people this. I enjoy when Jimmy Dore swears, because when he does it, there's like an emphasis. And it's just him, and he's a comedian, and I think he gets certain license to be like that. But there are commentators who, they engage, like Kim Iverson, when she typically doesn't swear a lot, right? She's a great commentator. And by the way, her latest video is awesome. You should go watch it. The one about Tulsi, and the one she did about when she went to the West Bank. Really, really incredible stuff. Like first-person accounts. This is the kind of stuff we need in media. This is where real journalism is. And A lot of people, that's why they're, I don't know why you would watch me, but I can understand maybe you want a good laugh or whatever, and you know that I'm sincere. I may be sincerely wrong, but I'm sincere. Okay. And this thing with the channel is just, it's basically, and I can't say this and go, I'm really so proud that I'm being monetarily censored. It shows that little me here in this room in my house with a crappy microphone and books, and I don't even have a real set, but I'm here because I believe in our country. I believe that our country can survive if we actually make changes. And I'm holding out some hope. Otherwise, like I said on Twitter, I mean, me and my wife, we're doing okay. Our life isn't so bad. But 2 or 3 years ago, we were a mess. We were an absolute mess after Hurricane Irma ran through here. Things were really bad. Between the hurricane and my wife getting into a car wreck, and there were a lot of things. My kid was diagnosed with epilepsy when he was born, or shortly after he was born. He had a seizure, and then he had another seizure, and I had to watch him have a seizure a couple of times. I know parents, they see things, and that just stuck with me. And so my perspective is informed by my reality. And when people talk a language that I don't understand, and a lot of progressive commentators speak in very weird, odd language. It's like going to a service at a church or something, and people are shouting, and they're saying all these terms, and they're calling people, brother this and so, and you're just sitting there going, what? My name's Dave. Okay, brother Dave. No, just Dave. I'm cool with that. It's that you get into your language, you get into your bubble, and you talk and think that way. And there are a lot of people that doesn't relate to that people don't relate to that. And I see it on the left and the right. It's one of the problems with the Green Party. As much as I like the idea of the Green Party, it's just they're gonna have a huge problem trying to relate to Joe Truck Driver out in the Midwest somewhere. That's just how it is. Don't talk in hyperbole. Don't talk using all of this. What's that language that ticks me off? Talking intersectionality all the time, where I'm a Latino woman, and okay, that's awesome. I'm not down with this constant throwing that out there as a position, because it's not a position. And if you're voting for somebody, then people should have voted for Hillary Clinton, right? Because she was the first woman president. She would have been. So you got to vote for Hillary because she's a woman. All right. I want to vote for Tulsi Gabbard, not because she's a woman. She's the most qualified candidate running. So anyway, I'm kind of talking. This is what I do in the car, is what you're seeing here. People at intersections like, this guy's talking to himself. Yeah, I do that. I've been doing that since age 13. I'm a former disc jockey. So, as a kid in my bedroom, I think I had a make-believe microphone that my parents got me. Rather than getting me a real microphone, they got me a make-believe one. And I used to pretend I was a DJ and so forth. And I used to talk to myself. People used to walk in. What are you doing in here? Oh, just talking, just pretending. So I've made it into a career. No, actually, I've made it into a free service here on YouTube where I talk, and YouTube doesn't pay me anything for talking, even though I meet all of their guidelines and requirements. YouTube. Maybe I should stop saying in the videos I'm about to get demonetized. That's a problem. That's a problem. All right, so listen, folks. If you're watching this video, and I think I have 69 people watching right now, which is like an all-time high. I mean, that's really good for a live stream for me. If you're watching this video and you haven't donated, number one, to Tulsi Gabbard's campaign, all right, individual donors, like unique. In other words, if you've never donated, now's the time to do it. Yesterday, after the View performance, I was like, where's Act Blue? I hate that though, don't you? Act Blue, that you have to use Act Blue. Somebody said to me, I mailed a check out because I'm not using Act Blue. Well, Act Blue, they've even got all my info. They got my PayPal info and so forth. So I'm like, fine. So I hit, I hit Tulsi with another $20 donation. And most of that comes from you guys when you are watching the videos, and a few of you have donated to PayPal, which I really appreciate. And I've told people some of that money is going to go back to Tulsi, and it does. So, I mean, it's all good. But anyway, if you haven't donated to Tulsi Gabbard yet, you've got, I mean, even if it's $1, that qualifies as a unique donation. So I'm a little bit, discouraged about all the demonetization. I get that way because this is the way I look at it. All right. And I'll just explain this, and you've probably heard me do this already. But YouTube says that I'm a partner. Okay. This is what they say. Would you like to be a YouTube partner? And I say, yeah, I'd love to be a YouTube partner. What do I need to do? Well, you need to get to 1,000 subscribers, which I did. And you need to be able to have so many watched hours, people watching your videos. And I met those qualifications. Next is you don't create offensive content. All right. As you know, I don't swear a lot. I tend to be pretty straightforward. I don't know how saying, for instance, that Tulsi Gabbard is gaining momentum is a controversial statement. It isn't. It's truth. And you put a little truth out here, and people go absolutely crazy. I don't understand what's going on over at YouTube. All our institutions apparently are pro-war. All our institutions do not look at war as a bad thing. Human beings are getting slaughtered all over the world, and we're all like, hey, you're saying things that are controversial. No, I'm just trying to alert people that war is a bad thing. Was it Edwin Starr that said, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Right? Bruce Springsteen, I think, covered it years later. That's the music channel side. I'm sorry. But war today seems to be the way our economy runs. All right. And you can connect the dots. Again, watch the new Kim Iverson video. All right. And when she does a video, it's like she does a ton of research. She lays it all out there. She explains it. And if you don't get the reason for the pushback against Tulsi Gabbard right now, watch that video, and it explains it from way back. I mean, this is like a 10, 11-year buildup. And it's really a shame that our country has become very, dependent on this economy. I mean, a green economy would be better, right? Everybody says, well, that's impossible. Where are you going to get the money from? The same money that we're pumping into the military-industrial complex. One of the crazy things, and you've probably already seen this in a video too, and I've been talking about this, is that last month, or actually in September, our banking institutions pumped 130 billion, yes, with a B, $130 billion into the quote-unquote financial markets. Jimmy Dore had that video with Dylan Radigan was the guy who was on. They were doing the live tour thing. And they talked about this. They did this in 2008, and they're doing it again. See, I can understand. Look, when I see this stuff, I can understand why people go, capitalism doesn't work. It sucks. You have to, the whole system is it's designed to fail. I think what happened along the way is we weren't paying our debts as a society. And obviously the money's not being backed by anything. and the petrodollar is really what rules the world. So that's why we go around all over the place and say, hey, hi, we're here to, as Jimmy Dore would say, we're here to bring democracy to your country. And by the way, we'd love to take your oil too. As kind of like, we're installing a much better dictator. And for our, hard work, we're going to go ahead and take your oil. And that oil is really the lifeblood of the economy because of what we did to the dollar. I mean, and it's probably a little more complicated than that, but that's kind of what it is. It's like our economy is based on war and based on oil. That's what it's based on. And people wonder why we're always looking to start war and extract oil. And why do you think we're in a climate crisis? Because our globe is on fire because we keep extracting oil and we keep going to war. Those two things are not going to make the climate any better. Even if you're a climate skeptic, and by the way, I hate those terms, even if you don't believe that we're doing it, something is changing in the atmosphere. All right. Every day here in Florida, the southwest part where I live, in the month of October, it was just as hot as July and August. And it's been doing this now, and we're basically setting temperature records every fall now. We're doing summertime weather in the fall, which I know in Southwest Florida, that's somewhat typical, but not to this degree. All right. The climate is changing, and we have to kind of face up to that. And I think a policy that advocates for restraint on both, fossil fuels and war, those two things would go a long way in probably stemming some of this. Who knows if it's reversible? Again, as a skeptic of a skeptic, I say I don't know what can fix it. I honestly say that. I think, and this is where I get spiritual, this whole thing is in God's hands. I don't know. But as a country, I think we have to let go of the idea that we can just do whatever we want to do, because that's what Trump is doing, and that's kind of what our economy is based on. And if you get a neoliberal in office, by the way, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to pay lip service to all of the people that are out there saying, oh, you can't do this. You can't do this. And they're going to say, they're right. We can't keep doing this. We've got to stop it. And it will just continue. People will say, well done. Great speech. So we've seen it since what? The 1970s. People have been saying that we need to get off of fossil fuels, and either the oil companies buy everybody out, all right, and they lobby and they say, no, you can't do that. And then, you've got all of these third world countries that are suffering because of all these industrial countries are doing the crap that they're doing. Why do you think we need Tulsi Gabbard? We need Tulsi Gabbard because she's focused on all these things from a very common sense, relatable perspective. Tulsi Gabbard believes that the climate has some real problems right now. She comes at it from almost a very Republican way of thinking at times, because she says, I'm for clean water, clean air, but I'm serious about it. And then I've got this little piece of legislation over here called the Off Fossil Fuels Act. Been in the works for 40 years now? And she comes at this from a very common sense perspective. She doesn't just try to slam you over the head if you don't agree or if you don't believe. Oh no, you're a climate denier, like the Holocaust. You're a Holocaust denier and a climate denier. Boy, I'd like to wake up in the morning feeling really good about myself. Thanks for those compliments. I mean, look, we're never going to bring this country together if we're using harsh language to speak to one another. And I'm not a centrist. I don't believe in centrism, but I do believe in being cordial and decent and having a smart dialogue. That's all I'm saying. A smart dialogue where people are actually communicating to one another and not just talking past each other. Because this has been This has been the entire political system since I've been alive, pretty much, is that the left and the right, they talk past each other. They try to score points. They try to throw the ball and get the touchdown every time, and a zinger here and a zinger. That's why these debates are so important, because we as a society, if we're going to watch a debate, it's got to be like a football game. Can't be like where you learn something about foreign policy, because that's not the purpose of this. I don't want to know what's really happening in Syria. I don't want to know how the sausage is made, just who's going to hit with the hardest zing. Okay? Ooh, Elizabeth Warren, she's on her game tonight. Who cares? Does she want to solve problems, or does she just want to be president? Difference between Elizabeth Warren and Tulsi Gabbard: Elizabeth Warren wants to be president. Tulsi Gabbard wants to solve problems, and the way she's going to do that is she's going to become president so she can solve the problems, or at least work toward that goal. Donald Trump. Okay, we've got to be honest about Trump. Donald Trump wanted to be president. He didn't want to solve problems. He wanted to just be the ultimate apprentice. That's what that is. He had a TV show, so now he's the boss in charge of everybody, and now he can, hey, you're fired. Who cares? I mean, look, America likes the idea of maybe a celebrity running something or being in charge of something, mainly because politicians have been so bad at it. And politicians, by the way, like Chris Hedges says, they've morphed into celebrities anyway. I mean, AOC, who's a bigger rock star right now than AOC? That's all I hear about. Oh, AOC, she endorsed Bernie. She said something nice about this person. Really? Really? So you're idolizing rock star AOC? It's bad. It's bad. Everything, there's a part of me, and I'm going to wrap up this pretty soon because it's doing just stream of consciousness here. There's a part of me that just wants to unplug and say, there's nothing I can do. Democratic primary is rigged. The media is in control of what you hear and how you think. And we're seeing that here on YouTube with demonetization of my videos. Because they're saying, well, you can keep doing these videos all you want. You can upload them, but we ain't paying you for it. That's what I work for, a company, or as an independent contractor. So again, I'll be covered under Elizabeth Warren's healthcare plan. I'm an indie contractor working for Google, and we have an arrangement. And they say, well, today we're not paying you, and we're not really going to tell you why we're not paying you. So there's a part of me that wants to just unplug, hang out with the kids, enjoy my life here in Southwest Florida, and not worry about the fate of my country as it slowly slides off the cliff. Because how much longer do I have? How much longer do we all have? Some of us have kids, grandkids, and I do. I don't have grandkids yet, but probably someday. I think, we have to kind of leave this place better than we found it. I mean, my lifetime, things have just continuously gone downhill. It's one of the reasons I support Tulsi Gabbard for president, because she is a JFK-like figure. I'm not saying she's politically the same as JFK, and I don't want to say Camelot or any of that garbage, because that means nothing to me. What I'm saying is JFK was a president that the country looked up to, that said, I am proud that he is our president. And then he gets shot. All right? And that changed the trajectory of the country. Much like 9/11 changed where we were headed, it moved it in a different direction. I think Tulsi Gabbard would be kind of like a reset. Kind of like saying, you two warring factions, cool it. Tulsi Gabbard calming the pressure, relieving not the financial pressure in the markets, but the actual pressure between human beings who are constantly at war with each other about politics. Politics is another religion. And I think it's a bad idea to put your faith and trust in politics. And that's why I was so reluctant to do this in the beginning. So I'm like, I'm just going to do a channel and talk about all the neoconservatives out there. And then I said, oh, I got to include neoliberals. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Tulsi Gabbard's running for president. How best can I use this platform? And then I didn't want Tulsi to take flack from somebody who said, hey, did you see that Saving America guy? He's like giving you a bad name, or he's talking about something you don't believe in or whatever. So hence the radical independent, but haven't changed content. It's full speed ahead for Tulsi Gabbard until the convention. But folks, before I leave, I need you to think about this. If you do $1 a month, and this is going to be my Jerry Lewis here, Jerry Lewis telethon, $1 a month over on Patreon. Plus you can send me messages over there. I will respond to the messages. I check those messages several times during the day. If you've got an idea, or if you've got a comment, or even a criticism, I don't take criticism well, I'll be honest with you, because it's just negativity to me. If it's constant, it's like, oh, you really sucked. Yeah, thanks. Awesome. And I'll just go hang out with my 5-year-old and he'll say something funny and then I'll forget about it. But for the most part, I am a little thin-skinned there. But anyway, if you still want to say, I appreciate what you do, but maybe, okay, I'll listen to it. If I get enough of those and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I might change what I'm doing. But you can support me on PayPal, and I have put that email in the description of pretty much every post I made on YouTube. So you can go back and look at that. I don't like to just blab my email out, but I've got a couple of different emails. It's the one associated with the gmx.com account, which is kind of an obscure email platform. That's why I use it. It's a little weird, like me. And also Patreon, which is, again, linked with my music-based channel. If you go over there, you'll see me posting about, the new Def Leppard album or something. You'll just, it'll be weird and you'll be like, why, what? But it's me. And if you give me $1 a month or $2 a month, I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. But I got to get more of those, because if I'm going to be demonetized all the time, if I'm going to be in the big leagues with all of these other big YouTube type people, then I'm going to need your help and support. So there you are. So remember, actually, before supporting my channel, if you haven't given to Tulsi Gabbard yet, if you're a unique donor, meaning you're sandbagging your Starbucks coffee and you don't want to give it away, for a couple of bucks, she could be in the December debate. Folks, she's in the December debate, and what the primary is, what, February? Iowa caucuses in February? Wow. I mean, that's close. You know what? I guarantee you the DNC thought that Tulsi Gabbard would be gone by now. That she couldn't hang in there. The fact that she was on, I forget where she said, well, I'm in, I don't know if it was Rogan or whoever, but she said, yeah, I'm in till the convention. I was like, wow, this is awesome, number one. And number two, these people are just going to go out of their minds. And that's why you had Hillary Clinton and the whole grooming comment, which, again, Kim Iverson does a great job of that. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm ending the live stream. Enjoy the rest of your day. Aloha from sunny Florida. See you soon.